Alright, I got some new steels from Summit through FTI. That's the part number. These are like 78 thousandths, I believe. Those are like 88 and 90, or no, they're over here. Those are like 88 and 90 thousandths. So let's try all the small ones here and see what we come up with. Because all the thick ones was too much. I could get the top back on it, but I couldn't get any filler gauges in there. The clutches wouldn't even move. And we might have to mix and match these, but I'm gonna put them all the small ones in here and just see where we're at. All right, here's all the thin ones. There's all the thicker ones. And we'll start out with steel. And then we'll do, run this back through some fluid. I'm just putting some fluid on these real quick. All right. We'll do a clutch, and we'll do a steel. These are tricky sometimes. Then we'll do a clutch. Nope, stuck together and splashed me. Then we'll do a steel. Then we'll do a clutch. And a steel. I don't know why these don't like to line up sometimes. Then we'll do the clutch and the steel. See, we're under that shelf, that's good. Then we'll do a clutch. And then, now there's another piece that goes in here first, but we're just gonna check our clearances before we put that piece in. Now, put the snap ring back in, and we'll try to get a filler gauge in there and see what we got. So in this time, I can actually shine some light on it. I can actually move the clutches around. So that's a good sign. All right. There's a spider on my filler gauge. He did. He probably made that web down there. I don't know. We ain't worried about that. All right. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick the filler gauge in, just like so. See, that one goes in easy. I don't know what size that is. Oh, that's a really small one. Let's grab one of these bigger ones, see what we get. There's a 35. So I had to bend those. There wasn't no other way to get those in there. Like I said in the last video, those filler gauges that bend, they work great. But let's try a 50, just see what a 50 does. Actually, on my transmission, I think I ran mine about 40 thousandths. The book says 50 thousandths, but I think you're supposed to run this one a little bit tighter. All right, there's 50 thousandths. I barely got that to go in there. It's tight, tight, tight. I'm gonna try like a 55. See what that does. So maybe it's the intermediate that I put on mine, about 30 to 40. The book says about 10 thousandths. I read the book. So I'm gonna say if we're between 40 and 60, I'm gonna call it good. All right, so 55 went. So I tried 60, that copper colored one, it's a 10. So the 60 will not go. So I'd say we're around 56, 57. Good enough for me. Now we have to take this back off here so we can put the clutch hub in. So just take the snap ring off, pull this back out. Alright, so I got my new stronger clutch hub. Now, there's one of these plastic washers that go here, and then there's one that go there. And what you can do, and what I'm going to do, is I'm going to put grease on these, or this assembly goo, because it helps hold it in place. It keeps them from falling off. What we got to do is we got to line up all these clutch grooves right here, and then carefully put that in and make sure it goes all the way down. Alright, I got the bushings all lubed up. I'm actually going to put both of them on the clutch hub itself. We got to put the springs back down on there before we got to take the clutches out. See, I forgot about that. We got to take the clutches out, put the springs in, put the clutches back, clutches and steels back in, then we can put the clutch hub on. So that's how the springs came stock. So I'm going to take the springs that we took off the direct and fill these in. Give a little bit more. Alright, we got all those on there. I'm going to take this. We're going to put that on there, making sure all the springs go up into the groove part there. Alright, now let's throw our tool on it. Send her down. As you go down on this tool, you want to kind of hold this straight so the hole lines up that shaft. And you want to be in an area over here away from these clips, because you want the opening part of the clip to be away from those little retainer tabs that help hold that C-clip in place. Alright, our groove is exposed. I did have to grab this shaft and kind of rock it back and forth to get everything straight. So now put our snap ring pliers on the end of that, open it up, set it back down on there. My snap ring pliers suck, so this is going to be fun. So since my snap ring pliers suck so bad, I had to hold the back of the ring back here, and then grab the front with a screwdriver as I held the back on the lip, pulled it and pushed it down, and pulled this side with a screwdriver again, still holding the back. Push that down, then I pushed this all the way in the groove, and then just kind of pushed down on it until it popped in the groove. Now we should be able to loosen this up, and it should catch on that ring. Again, our opening is not on these tab pieces right here. The openings were right there. Alright, I went around here and looked at all my springs, make sure they're all good and straight. And if they're not, you can kind of like, they don't have to be perfectly straight, but you can kind of straighten them up with a screwdriver, I guess. Yep, all that looks good. Now let's do this steel clutch, steel clutch, steel clutch again. Put all this back together. Now we got our clutch hub. Make sure you got both of those on the top and the bottom. We're just gonna set this down in the first clutch. You can try to spin and wiggle and spin. We're through 2 of them, 3. And just do that until you get through all 5 of them. Alright, I wiggled it and shaked it and spun it. Went through all 5 of them. Now, when you lift up on this and go back down on it, you should hear that thud. If you don't hear that thud, you're still on a clutch. But yeah, we're all the way through. Now we can put the top back on it, put the snap ring in it, call it done. Just like that. And put our snap ring in, And this one's done. Let me set it over to the side. Maybe I need 2 hands to do this. There we go. It's back together. And you can hear the thud. It won't sound nowhere near like that if you're on top of a clutch. You won't even hardly hear it when you lift up and down on it. So yeah, we're all the way down. Plus, if you're not all the way down, I'm pretty sure it would be a lot less space there. Might not even, if you're not, you know, if you're not on the last 2 at least, probably hit there, I would assume. But yeah, I'll set that to the side. All right, here's the intermediate clutches and stills. I'm just going to measure this and put our clutches on. Those aren't waffle, those got like a vertical slit in them. And see what the thickness is here, and then see what the thickness is with the new clutches, just so I can have a basic idea. I'm waiting on the transmission to get back from the machine shop, getting cleaned, and he's going to replace the rear bushing for me because I don't have a bushing drive. But a good thing is most of these bushings look good, so that was the only one that looked bad, so we're definitely going to replace that one. Alright, so I measured the clutches, and that 2 were 80 thousandths and 1 was 90 thousandths. These are all 90 thousandths. I'm assuming those are just got wore down a little bit, but all the plates except for the weight plate was like 66,000, and then the 2 upper plates were like 97 thousandths, and then I got 2 weight plates and 2 flat plates, and these are 76 thousandths. So I should be able to come up with something there without having to order any more parts. So, but I do need a sun gear, and I still need the trans brake itself, but the trans brake can go on last. Once we get the case back from the machine shop getting cleaned, we can go ahead and start throwing everything together.